Hey there, YouTube. This is Vargas, and with the whole thing that's going on in the world, we're all stuck in our homes. I still have to work, of course, but there's no flea markets, like I might have mentioned before in one of my videos. There's no flea market. There's no comic book shipping. There's no movies to buy. The stores are closed, so there's not that much to do. The movie theaters are also closed. And other than watching movies and just playing game with my kids, there's not that much to do. My kids already went to sleep, and I have a little bit of insomnia to deal with. And instead of watching a movie, I've been watching videos on YouTube. And I've been going back to seeing mod videos for Nerf guns. And I've watched from my favorite modders, like Clowny Nerf. I started watching some Wallcom. And an old channel that doesn't exist anymore, Southern Brisbane Nerf Club from Australia. And I'm not good at building stuff. I mean, I'm good at making props. I can build props, but I've always wished that I could take something apart, fix it or make it better, and then put it back again. But I'm not. A few times I've actually succeeded in doing that. I've taken stuff apart, tried to fix it, and then when I try to put it back together, it doesn't work, and I'm always, missing parts, or I have more parts than I had. I don't know how that happened, but I'm gonna try my hand at modding something, because I do want to mod, but I'm always scared that I won't be able to be good at it. But I've heard people like Clowny Nerf has said that don't be scared of it, just go for it, and worst thing is that you have a blaster, so it might not work. But I want to try my hand at this thing. This is the Rebel, I think it's called the Courage crossbow. I bought this years ago, and it's a really nifty blaster. They re-released this as part of the Zombie Strike line, and the thing that this one does is that it shoots these arrows. The Zombie Strike one does the same thing. It shoots arrows, and it looks cool. I mean, it looks like a crossbow, something that's, if you're familiar with the Huntress, the DC superhero, it looks like something that she would use, and shoots arrows, so it's pretty cool. But I bought this at a flea market, and I like the look of it. I like the colors. It looks more streamlined than the Zombie Strike one. The Zombie Strike one looks like it was built from scraps, which makes it look cool. But I like the look of this one better. Actually, when I did my Hawkeye costume for Halloween a couple of years ago, I had a Avengers Big Bad Bow and this thing, just to complete, because it looks like something that, or I thought it would be something that Hawkeye would use. So yeah, I like the blaster, and I want to use it, but I don't have access to arrows. I do have access to darts. These are some Whistler darts, some old Whistler darts, but I can want to use Elites or the Adventure Force or whatever. I want to make this thing shoot these things. Why not? I've actually been looking at YouTube trying to get some tips on where the locks are, because all Nerf blasters have locks. I just want to see where this one is, and I haven't been able to find anything on. I found one video, but it's in an, I don't know what language it is. I can't understand what they're saying. All they did was they opened it up, removed something at the front, but I don't know where the locks are. So I want to open this one up. I did see a review from Bobo Lobo, and he said that it's a cool blaster, but the locks are what are the downfall of this. So I want to see if I can remove the locks so it shoots these better. But I honestly want, my end game is to make this thing shoot these things. So first thing I gotta do is I gotta open it up. So I'll see you once I take out all the screws. Okay, so I've taken out all the screws. It doesn't have that many screws to take out. I plopped open the bow arms here. And first tip that some modders say is don't lose the screws. So I've left all the screws there. And also don't lose the placement of the screws, because there are some screws that are longer than others, some are shorter. So always keep the order of the screws. Like if you open it this way, put the screws like that so you don't miss the order. And the other thing that a lot of modders recommend is taking a picture, which I will splice as I go along. So this popped out, but this is the thing that goes here for the tactical rail. So I can put that here. And it doesn't seem like it has that many complicated parts. I do need to take this one out. This is the trigger. Well, I'll open that one and then cut back to it. This thing, I don't know what this thing does. I mean, I try to pull it, but it doesn't pull. And if I just pull it, this is going to be kind of hard one-handed. I don't know what this is. This might be a lock. Because I don't see this thing. I mean, this thing's connected to this thing. And if I pull the trigger, it's not doing anything. So I take that out entirely. Like I said, I have not been able to find any sort of mod guide for this thing. Nothing on how to remove the locks. No disassembly. I found a whole bunch of videos on how to paint it, make it look cool. But like I said, I wanted to shoot darts. So I'm going to take that out. And I need to pop out this, so I'll be back. Okay, so I'm thinking back, and the only thing I remember I've modded is a big bad bow. I modded that. I took out the air restrictor, and then I made it shoot darts instead of arrows too. This piece doesn't want to stay there. So the trigger doesn't seem like it does anything. Like there, it did something. Because the way it's supposed to, the way that this thing works is that you pull the bungee cord all the way back and it fastens here. But I need to see which part is the lock. This seems to be just one single piece. But that thing doesn't go down. Because the main problem is that it doesn't shoot very smoothly. You have to put an arrow, and then the arrow kind of pushes this thing down. And then you shoot it, but the trigger isn't that very smooth. I'm hoping it's smoother by removing this thing. And then I do want to keep the thing where I have this thing tenses, and then I put here. And then what I would want to do is that I would put a dart there and then shoot it if it will allow it. Might not work with a whistler. Might have to get an elite one. But at least tension it as much as I can. Mostly because of the head. I think I am going to need an elite one because this head is too much. Or at least get it to shoot these things better. Because it doesn't lock well enough, or it locks too well maybe. I don't know how to explain it, but the tension spring locks into these, and then the arrow locks into this thing, but it doesn't lock very well. It doesn't like read that it has an arrow. So when you shoot, it takes a lot to make it shoot. So that's what I want to fix. So let me tinker with this and I'll be back. Okay, so I've kind of figured it out. The way that this works is that once you put an arrow here, it slightly pushes this thing down. Not much, but it does push it down a bit. And then that, just with that slight push down, when you press the trigger, it allows it to go all the way down and then shoot the dart or the arrow. So what I need to do is to figure out how to take that thing so it does sort of catch, and then when I pull the trigger, shoot it out. So this is going to be interesting. I can't take these things off because that's where the string grabs up. It's just one piece, and this is what catches with the trigger. So I need that, but I do need a way for the arrow or the dart to push down a little bit more. Let me figure it out. I'll come back to this. Okay, so I don't know whether to take that part out, because I'm looking at it and I do need this thing to push sort of down so it'll lock with the trigger. So what I did, trying to figure this thing out, is that I shall put I put a little piece of adhesive cardboard here to try to get this thing to lower a little bit more when there's something in here. So it'll push down and then lock with the trigger. Another thing I was noticing is that there was this like metal screw thing here that was interfering with the trigger. So I just took a little piece of that adhesive. It's like I don't know what this is. It's like adhesive cardboard or foam or something. And what I'm hoping that will do is that it'll allow the trigger, I put it just far enough so that the trigger will slide down instead of like hitting that knob thing. If that knob is important, I'll figure it out once I put it back together. But I feel that will work a lot better to allowing me to push the trigger and have it something to like slide through instead of hitting that knob thing. So I'll put it back together and I'll do a test fire. Okay, so I decided to go against drilling this part out, because I do need this as a way to push down on the darts. But what I did do is to try to push this as far down as I can so that this thing, once I put an arrow, or I'm hoping a dart, I am looking at this and there is no way that a dart is going to fit here. At least not a NERF dart. It's too thick. So elites are out of the question. However, I am thinking of Boomco. So let me get a Boomco dart. So here is a Boomco dart. And Boomco fits just fine. So my hope is that by putting all this junk here and forcing this thing to go down as much as it possibly can, it will allow the arrows and darts to push this thing just enough so that it connects to the trigger here. That will allow me to shoot the arrows better and Boomco. So let me put this thing together and we'll see what happens. Okay, put it all together, put all the screws. Still doesn't quite trigger, but I can do this one-handed. I can still prime it, and now it shoots. The only problem is it's not returning. That's not good. Oh, there it goes. Wow, that's not good. But for the purpose of my mod, or my intentions anyway, it should work. Okay, so there's the arrow. Shoots, but it does not return. Well, I gotta hit it against something and it does return. No, still primed. And let's see. There's a Boomco dart. And it shoots Boomco. Still doesn't return, but I have to kind of hit it and it returns. So, still needs some tinkering, but at least I got it to prime, and it shoots Boomco. So that's something. Well, that was my attempt at a mod. Had to take this piece out because this piece goes here, and it allows the arrows to have a better fit, but it gets in the way of my Boomco plan. So I tried rolling a dart through there, and it doesn't quite work. So I still need some tinkering. I still need to figure out why it doesn't return. But for now, I have a courage crossbow that shoots Boomco. So hooray! All right, so I'll keep you posted on how that goes. But my second after the big bad bow, but second successful mod. I'm happy. I just wish it would return, but other than that, that might actually work to my favor. That it's not returning, and that's why I can prime it. Oh no! I won't prime. There it goes. There it goes. It's primes, but now it allows me to shoot without having anything in there. So that's what it allows me to shoot Boomco. Just have to give it some tender love and care. So no, happy accident. But now I have a courage crossbow that shoots Boomco. Still need to tweak it, but that'll do for now. Thanks for watching, guys.